Governor Bush getting some presidential power injected into his campaign in the form of his older brother, President George W. Bush, and his sister-in-law, former First Lady Laura Bush, out on the trail in South Carolina.
I came here for two reasons. One, because I care deeply about Jeb. And two, because I care deeply about our country. You know, I thought it was appropriate to discuss a subject I know a lot about, what it's like to be president. Being your president was a high privilege and the honor of a lifetime. And by the way, if serving as President of the United States makes me a part of the so-called establishment, I proudly carry that label. There seems to be a lot of name-calling going on, but I want to remind you what our good dad told me one time. Labels are for soup cans. The presidency is a serious job that requires sound judgment and good ideas. And there's no doubt in my mind that Jeb Bush has the experience and the character to be a great president.
And the on-the-record political panel is back. ABC News political director Rick Klein and from the Weekly Standard, John McCormick. Rick, in the year 2000, that primary, President Bush, who was then Governor Bush, had 54% of the vote over John McCain, 42%. So he's popular, at least in 2000, in South Carolina.
It's not 2000 anymore. The
no,
word
it's not 2000.
The word he used, serious. This has been, in so many ways, a non-serious campaign. And the fact that Donald Trump is out there attacking Jeb Bush in such a visceral, almost mean-spirited way on the debate stage tells you how much politics has changed. I mean, this was a big day for former presidents. President Bill Clinton out there on the trail as well. We know how much he helped in New Hampshire, or didn't help Hillary Clinton last week. We'll see what this matters. I think it's a positive for Jeb Bush in the sense that it gets a little more attention to his campaign on this do-or-die week in South Carolina. But I don't know that there's a great affection out there in the Republican Party for the Bushes, that enough to transfer that to Jeb.
Well, Donald Trump is speaking now. We're monitoring that in case he says anything. He's at a live event as well in South Carolina. John, the impact of President Bush 43 for his brother.
I'm not sure if it helps him that much. You know, I think there is a great affinity out there for George W. Bush, but Republicans are not buying dynasties right now. They don't like the Clinton dynasty. I don't think they want a Bush dynasty. What George W. Bush did do was in this debate on Saturday, when his presence was injected in there, I think it was Donald Trump's worst moment when he was asked about whether he still thought George W. Bush should be impeached for Donald Trump had said in the past that George W. Bush had lied about weapons of mass destruction to start the war. And he repeated that. He said that they knew that there were no weapons there and they started the war anyway. And listen, you can think the Iraq war was a mistake if you're a Republican, but the idea that George W. Bush deliberately and knowingly lied about weapons to start a war, that's an outrageous slander, and it's nothing short of left-wing frothing at the mouth lunacy. I really do believe that, and I think that was just a terrible, terrible moment for Donald Trump in his campaign.
And I'm going to throw President Bush 43 under the bus. He did say, I was monitoring what he was saying, he said that the voters should vote for the candidate with the most opinionated mother. And his brother Jeb laughed as well, which probably was horribly dangerous, but they always tease their mother. The fight today with Senator Ted Cruz, in fact, one of the things he said, that one of the things Donald Trump said is it's hard to believe a person who proclaims to be a Christian could be so dishonest and lie so much.
Just so personal. I mean, this isn't about policy anymore when you start talking about this. And the biggest liar he's ever met in his life. Look, if Trump wins South Carolina, if he wins the nomination, he will have done it by breaking down the Republican Party to little pieces and building it back. It won't be because he won over voters in some way. He has smashed every rule, every convention along the way, and if he does it, he'll have to overcome a lot of serious candidates with a lot of experience, like Senator Cruz, like Governor Bush.
John, so far we expect, at least he's leading in the polls in South Carolina, Donald Trump.
So far, that's the way it looks. It all depends on whether the Saturday night debate really shook things up. There was just one snap poll I saw that Rubio came out 8 points ahead. Whether that can swing enough people in the final week, I doubt it. It looks like things are going good for him. But again, if that moment is as bad as I thought it was, maybe it will.
Anyway, Rick, John, thank you both.
Thanks, Greta.